Late last night, we had a report come out on Mass Live. Chris Cotillo, Sean McAdam were both reporting together. And they said that within the Red Sox organization, Kristian Campbell and Aroldis Chapman are seen as the favorites for starting second baseman and starting closer going into the 2025 Red Sox season. First things first, I am so excited to see Campbell in the show. I was hoping and praying when I got my tickets for opening day that we would see at least one of the big three in the lineup. And the more we look at it and the more we hear it, sounds like Campbell might be the guy. And we're going to talk about another move that happened in a little bit that points to that even more. Aroldis Chapman, though, I don't like it, and you guys already know that. Now, I might eat a little bit of crow on this because I watched him pitch today. He struck out the side. In his last few outings, he's been pretty good, but I still don't trust him. Until he gets into real live action, I'm not going to trust it. If he walks in the bottom of the ninth in Arlington with a one-run lead, I'm going to have arrhythmia, which if you look up the medical term, that is an irregular heartbeat. I don't want to have that. So until he proves me otherwise, I don't love it. You let me know, though. Do you trust Aroldis Chapman? I can't believe I'm asking this question. But this is the world we live in 2025. T for trust, A for absolutely not. I'm going to type my A's, but you guys let me know down below in the comments. On today's edition of the Red Sox Rundown, I am your host, Jack Lauderoy. We got some pretty major news to talk about. First things first, Alex Cora gave a pretty significant Rafael Devers update. He didn't say much, but what he didn't say spoke more than what he actually said. A lot of roster cuts happened today. More roster moves, but they are major league roster cuts. So we're going to talk about every player that was optioned or sent to the minor league camp. And then we have even more injury news. I know we hate it, but we got to talk about it. We're going to talk about it at the end of today's video. Before we do that, we are so close to 100 followers on Instagram. If you have not already, go over to the Instagram at the Red Sox Rundown. Give us a follow. Short form content. I'm going to be at the first 3 games of the season posting highlights, photos, short form content, everything on Instagram. We are less than 10 followers away from 100 followers. So if you love the Red Sox and you want daily Red Sox content, make sure you give us a follow on Instagram. All right, let's start. Christopher Smith had this earlier today. Rafael Devers probably won't appear in a spring training game at third base with camp winding down. Is Cora at the point of saying Rafael Devers is the Red Sox everyday DH? I'll say that whatever I have to say is Cora just says words. Right now, Bregman is playing third day and Rafi is DHing. Ladies and gentlemen, Rafael Devers will be your opening day designated hitter, and I would assume for a majority of the season will be your starting designated hitter. It makes sense. When the sweepstakes for Alex Bregman was going on, everyone was saying, oh, he's going to play at second base. He's going to play at second base. He's going to play at second base. The only reason that happened was so that they could backtrack and not piss off Devers. But now that Bregman is actually here, he makes the most sense at third base. The best defensive infield that the Red Sox could have right now is Tristan Casas at first, a combination of Kristian Campbell, Marcelo Meyer at second, Trevor Story at short, and Alex Bregman at third. This is the best defensive infield you can have. Rafi is not a good defensive third baseman. He's gotten better. He's made strides. It's not for a lack of trying. He's just not as good as Alex Bregman. And another note, Alex Bregman has had no spring training starts at second base. So they're not even hiding that they are going to have Bregman as the everyday third baseman. They are playing coy so that they don't continue to piss off the face of their franchise, but the writing is on the wall. Cora won't say it, but we all know it, though. He doesn't need to say it. Alex Bregman is going to be your starting third baseman on opening day. Rafael Devers will be your starting DH because Masataka Yoshida, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, will most likely start the year on the IL. But you let me know. This was a hard over-under to set because a lot can go wrong, a lot can change. But right now I'm going to set the over-under at 65 starts at third base for Devers this season. If you think he's going to have more starts, type an O for over. If you think he's going to have less starts, type a U for under. I think 65 for now is a relatively good line, but a lot can change in a 162 game season. Let's talk about the biggest topic of the day. Roster moves happened. These have been teased for the last few days. This was supposed to be one of the biggest days for roster moves, and the Sox have officially announced, as far as we know, all of the moves they're going to have. I'll check TweetDeck one more time just in case something else happens, but as far as I know, I don't see anything. Okay, here are the moves that have happened over the past few days. Wyatt Mills, Austin Adams, Isaiah Campbell, Noah Davis were all either optioned or sent down to camp. The verbiage is all different. Are they roster cuts? Are they not roster cuts? I don't know. These were the first four. Wyatt Mills, Austin Adams, Isaiah Campbell, Noah Davis. Isaiah Campbell's probably the most notable one here. Had some major league time over the past few years, but these guys were kind of all assumed. Luis Guerrero breaks my heart because I really wanted Guerrero on the roster, and I thought he was going to be on the roster. If you go back a few weeks ago, I said he had already earned a spot based on 2 or 3 appearances. And obviously I was wrong. Obviously I did not see something that they saw, but I still thought he did enough to prove that he deserved to be on the opening day roster. His stuff is absolutely electric. He gets really great swing and miss. The walks are an issue. His last few starts have been not great. It's not starts. His last few appearances have not been great, but I still thought there was enough potential there to warrant him making the roster. It is what it is. I'm sad about it, but we will move on. These were the moves that came today. Luis Guerrero came today technically as well. These are the most notable moves, though. Josh Winckowski gets optioned. Didn't have a great spring. That makes sense. Vaughn Grissom gets optioned, who we'll talk about in a second. Nathan Hickey, Mark Kolozsvary, both also get sent to minor league camp as well. Grissom getting optioned at the end of the day makes sense. It's surprising because he's the one player you got back in the Chris Sale trade, and then Chris Sale went and won the NL Cy Young. So it stings, but it makes sense. He wasn't getting a lot of time, and when he got time in the lineup, he didn't capitalize. I, of all people, wanted him to make the opening day roster, but the more that the writing started to show on the wall, it just made sense because you've got 2 guys waiting in the wings that I think have a better shot of making the roster and have done more than Grissom, and that is Kristian Campbell and Marcelo Meyer. Campbell, like we said at the top of the show, according to Chris Cotillo and Sean McAdam, is the favorite, as it appears right now, to make the opening day roster as a starting second baseman. However, Marcelo Meyer started at second base today. And Marcelo Meyer, arguably, of the big 3, has had the most impressive spring training. And Alex Cora said today that anything can happen when it comes to the second base position. So I tweeted, is Marcelo Meyer going to screw around and make the opening day roster as the starting second baseman? Weirder things have happened. I still think it's going to be Campbell, but I think Meyer is making a very strong pitch to make the opening day roster. So I showed you guys the cuts. I think it's definitely Vaughn Grissom and Luis Guerrero, but you let me know. What's the biggest surprise cut for the Red Sox today? And they're not technically cuts, they're options, whatever. They're cut from the Major League 26-man Major League roster, okay? So they're technically cuts. What was the biggest surprise cut for the Red Sox today? Again, for me, it was probably Vaughn Grissom. It makes sense, but it is still surprising. You let me know down below in the comments. All right, let's talk injury news before we get on out of here. Just a few notes to really talk about. This was yesterday from Chris Cotillo. He said, Romy Gonzalez having an MRI after feeling right oblique tightness. The level of concern is low. Cora said, we'll know more tomorrow. He feels like there's nothing there. It's a matter of him not wanting to take a chance. Okay, so today we got an update from Christopher Smith, who says, Romy Gonzalez, Allie, if you want to push that, sorry. Romy Gonzalez will be ready for opening day. Hopefully he'll be with us in Texas, but we have to be smart about it too, Cora said. The backup candidates are Nick Sogard and Abraham Toro. I think it'll be Nick Sogard. I don't think they want to have to make a 40-man roster cut to bring on Abraham Toro, who hasn't, really impressed. Sogard's impressed. But I think Romy will be okay, so I'm not really worried about that. Brayan Bello spoke to the media yesterday, and he talked about his injury. I think he's going to be back sooner rather than later. He kind of teased that he's going to stay in Fort Myers. He's not traveling to Mexico with the team. He's going to stay in Fort Myers. He's going to go through his throwing program. And he said, Lord willing, he would be ready for the home opener against, I don't remember. He'll be ready for the home opener in Boston. That's all he'll say. So I think he'll be fine. He'll be back in a few weeks. I'm not worried about it. You've got Richard Fitz. You've got Quinn Priester. You've got Sean Holcomb, who's apparently been impressing Alex Cora. So yeah, I'm not worried about Bello. He'll be back sooner rather than later. Nothing to worry about. Last things last, Masataka Yoshida threw from 90 feet yesterday, and Cora said today, so we've still got a long way to go. Masa is starting the year on the IL. He is. And look, he's put together a really impressive spring as the DH. He absolutely destroyed a ball yesterday against the Yankees for a 2-run home run. He looks good at the plate. There is no spot for him on the roster, though. They do not want to platoon him in the outfield, and Rafael Devers is going to be your everyday DH. So until he's 100% healthy, he will be on the IL, even though he's had a really, really impressive spring. So those are the latest news, rumors, updates around the Boston Red Sox. Again, give me a follow on Instagram if you have not already. We're trying to get to 100 followers. I'm going to be posting stuff all during opening weekend while I am in Arlington covering the Boston Red Sox. Don't miss it. Short form content, news, rumors, injury updates, all of that you can find on my Instagram. Make sure you subscribe as well. Never miss a video. I appreciate you all. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. And until next time, go Sox.